Chapter 32 to 33. Moving on to the last match before the semifinals, we have a returning contestant at quite the crane school with his partner Tien, Kaioshin. His opponent is one of surprise, one of absolute ordinary. Shin. Will the severe underdog beat the seasoned veteran? Let the match being. Everyone was of course confused at the prospect of one of them being in the tournament stage with someone who could probably kill him in a second. Nobody was expecting the brave man to charge headfirst the little albino man with no hesitation. Kaioshin expressionlessly pointed his finger at him and said the magic words. Doden Ray. The light yellow beam shot out and was about to hit the man on the bridge of his glasses. Until the image faded into an afterimage, of course. He appeared behind the flying man and tried to take him out with a swift blow. Instead, Kaioshin saw him coming and moved in the same direction of the attack. It looked like Shen just pushed Kaioshin the way he floated away. You are pretty good. Too bad that you are only using your heightened body for your reflexes. Jumping up, he leveled the playing field, looking right into the eyes of surprise. In fact, everyone was surprised that he could give one of the toughest opponents a run for his money. However, his jump didn't just even out their altitude. He went above and beyond literally. Taking an abnormally large breath, his chest expanded only to be released back into the air into Kaioshin's face. Kaioshin tried so hard to brute strength through the wind, but couldn't handle the sheer pressure. Crashing on the arena floor with a splat, the wind crushed the cheeks flat for a couple of seconds. Coming out from the daze of the situation, he had no time to react when he saw Shun coming down like a top, bunching his muscles when the impact spewed dust everywhere. When the dust cleared, Shun was standing next to the down martial artist. He had a sliver of consciousness within him, but that soon died out when he heard the last words the announcer. It looks like Kaioshin is out for the count. The winner is Shen. Tien ran up on stage to help Kaioshin. Picking up him, he gave the stank eye to Shen's smiling face. Good luck in the next round. Good luck? From what I gather, it's good luck that you lost in your round, or else you would have to fight me. Not dignifying that with a response, he swiftly turned around and headed to give Kaioshin medical attention. Shen was about to walk back into the waiting area until the break was over when a strong arm held fast onto his. Kami-sama, why are you here? Do you doubt my strength? Goku talked while they were both still not looking at each other at all. That is not it, Goku. You have gone far past anything I set for you, and even did your own thing for a little bit. It is just that you will not go so far as to kill Piccolo when I need you to. Shin from the very beginning saw that Goku for some reason did not want to kill him. No matter the reason, a seed of malice cannot cultivate and threaten the world. It doesn't matter if he lives or dies. What matters is what he does with his life. Who you are thinking about isn't a demon king, but a newborn who can still change. I am God with no evil inside of me. Piccolo is the manifestation of that evil. He and his children will carry that forever. With that, Shun forcibly pulled his arm back and went his merry way like they never talked. Goku wasn't too worried about Kami doing anything. The main thing that he was worried about is if the Mafuba will be a problem. Piccolo probably didn't learn the counter Mafuba because Rashi didn't reveal that card to him. Looking at the person in question, he was standing on stage with a very nervous Krillin. This is the start of the semi-finals between two very talented martial artists. Whoever wins this will move to the finals and have a chance to win the title of the world's strongest under heaven. This will be Krillin versus Piccolo. Let the match begin. I have been training for 3 years. I won't be thrashed around like last time. Krillin was raring to go, getting a little impatient to test his strength. That was what the last person said. Yeah, but that was Yamcha. Starting the match, both opponents clashed together in the center. Krillin was doing a good job keeping up with the green Yoshi, as he tried his hardest to use his small stature as an advantage and not a weakness. Ducking under his legs after the fistfight, he stopped his momentum with his hands when he held onto the ground right behind Piccolo. Thrashing out his feet like a horse, he made Piccolo fly towards the ring out. But everyone knows that at this point, ring outs don't really mean anything anymore. Piccolo quickly stabilized himself and did a sharp U-turn at rocketing speeds. Krillin had just stood up from his attack to be met with one of his opponents. Krillin thought that Piccolo was only going to go for a straightforward attack with the way he positioned himself and his speed. That is why he was truly surprised when his guard was completely useless to the extended arm that reached around it. Crashing onto the floor harshly, he thought that his skull was going to crack as the concrete did under him. Krillin finally remembered who he was dealing with. It was not some run-in-the-mill Bob or Bob, but the demon Piccolo's son. His thoughts came slow and muffled. In fact, his consciousness was already blurring when he felt both of his feet getting grabbed. Piccolo landed in front of Krillin, where his feet were stationed, and grabbed a hold of them. He then flipped Krillin out of the stage and onto the spectator stands. There you can see two people talking, not paying attention to fight at all. Hey lady, I finally found you. Last time we met you told me I would get a year's worth of food. But instead, I got only a week's worth and some other useless garbage. Yajirobe finally found Bulma, after going through the crowd, annoying a lot of people. Oh, it's you. That's why you are here. I knew you weren't strong when you got eliminated so quickly. I forgot you wild folk eat so much. I am not weak. It's just those guys are monsters. Anyway, I am here for that payment that you still owe me. Yajirobe wanted to get his food and leave as quickly as possible. The crowds annoyed him to no end. Well, I don't have your kind of year's worth, but oh, I got an idea. Reaching into her pocket, she pulled up a small gadget that looked like a gun with a cone instead of a barrel. Aiming it at Yajirobe before he could do anything, she fired the gun. Everyone around her from the previous tournament remembered what that horrible thing did and quickly stepped back, leaving Yajirobe to his fate. What is that? Wait, what is happening to me? Yajirobe was shrinking as he was talking. He couldn't move as he was shrinking, as he saw the world grow larger and larger. It was finally done when he was slightly smaller than the size of her phone. What did you do to me? Yajirobe's voice came out squeaky and cute, betraying his words and intentions. Oh, stop whining, will you? This way you can eat more for less. I will give you a fridge again, so don't eat everything like last time. Just click this button when you want to grow again. She tossed him a tiny button and capsule. His eyes lit up when the thought of doing everything while small dawned on him. But before he could reach out to his prize, the world around him started to get darker and darker. Looking up at the sun to see what was the problem, he instead saw a falling monk in orange come straight at him. Krillin's but landed directly on the poor man. He felt like a hot dog, unable to move or protest at his situation. Bulma took one look at the sleeping Krillin, and her and Chi-Chi decided to move to the other side of the arena to get a better look. Here comes the second match of the semi-finals. Will the previous world champion be able to beat the surprisingly strong Shun that popped up out of nowhere? Let the match begin. Cammy, I respect you and I am grateful for everything that you taught me, but unfortunately, I will have to beat you here. It was Goku's turn to show his mentor that everything he did wasn't in vain. Goku, as your master, I know of a weakness that even you may not know of. Good luck overcoming it. This was Shun's only chance to win. He knew Goku's monstrous strength will triumph, so he could only win with some leverage. And I know something about you too. Do you wish to know what it is? Shun leaned in to hear what weakness could he possibly have leaked out to his student. But before he could think anymore, his vision turned black as he fainted. Goku was in front of him and punched him right in the solar plex. Normally you wouldn't faint from the attack, but he twisted it in a way that would hit the sweet spot of his fainting. Goku's voice was coming from his afterimage, distracting the god as Goku did his top speed to do his attack. When Goku heard that Cammy knew his weakness, he couldn't take any chances at that point. The only option was to end it fast and quickly. He only needs to wake up and see everything work out. And wow, what a knockout. The winner is Goku. Picking up the poor man who was dragged into this conflict due to pure luck, he set him down in the player stands and got ready for the next match. You are more powerful than I expected. Off to the side with his overhanging cape and turban, Piccolo was leaning against the side wall with his eyes trained on Goku. Didn't know the great Demon King would shake in his boots like his dad. Piccolo spat on the floor and left Goku with the fainted man to go up to the stage. The only thought that crossed his mind was vengeance to the highest degree. Goku let out a little snort in response. It was pretty fun teasing the big guy any way he could. There was only so much time he could delay before the crowd would get testy, so he turned around to face the music. Passing by his friends that were spectating, he asked him to look over Shun for him. Confused by the relationship that the two seemingly shared, they agreed to it, keeping the fainted man in their peripherals. We are finally here, ladies and gentlemen, the finals of the 23rd World Martial Tournament. All of your suspense and tension has led to his moment of who we will find out the strongest person under the heavens. On our left corner, we have the defending champion of the last tournament, who will be doing his best to keep the title, Son Goku. On the right corner, we have the challenger, the underdog, Junior. Will he be stomped down and put in his place by the residing champion, or will he rise above and dethrone the king? Let's find out. Let the match begin. Let us put this 3-year grudge to rest, Son Goku. Piccolo instantly started to move to gain an advantage in the fight. Since he already showed this ability before, he didn't hesitate to extend his arms at insane speeds and latch on to both of his shoulders. Goku was about to pry those hands off of him, but by now retracting his arms, his entire body flew throughout the stage towards Goku. When he reached him, Piccolo kneed him the gut, lifting him up a little bit. He then slammed his fist on Goku's cheek to make him fly away. The heavy combo didn't seem to do much, but put some dirt on his cheek as he flipped over and skid back, making a black streak on the floor. Piccolo knew that his overall power is weaker, so he didn't let up for a second in his run to make sure Goku didn't catch his breath. Unfortunately for him, he was one step too late. Timing it with Piccolo's fast arrival, he aimed an uppercut as a counterattack. Unable to stop his momentum completely, he went with the direction of the punch to lessen the damage. It didn't feel like it did anything at all. He got launched incredibly hard in the air, but even though his body was stasis, his eyes were darting everywhere to catch a glimpse of his opponent. And Goku met his expectation when he appeared on his left side to continue the combo. Instead, Junior responded with a loaded fist when he saw the first coming to his face. Both attacks landed squarely at the same time, and they both flew in different directions. Goku went up and eventually stopped on his own, while Piccolo was sent straight down. He landed like a cat with one hand on the ground and veins bulging around his head. How is he so strong? Was all of my training in vain? Flashback. There is one of those fighters that my father could smother with his pinky. Looking through the window, teenager Piccolo Jr. was peering through the window of Yamcha's residence. He heard loud moans accompany him, leaking to the open night, making Piccolo want to peek through. Oh, you like that? Well, take some more. Inside the apartment was an incredibly beautiful woman, with a purple afro and lean muscle. Her attire was nearly non-existent, as it consisted of very short leather, extending from her shoes to her chest, covering the important parts. In her hands, it looks like a long black rope. A whip? UF asterisk king like that UW asterisk or? On the ground being lashed repeated on the butt was what looked like bondage and blindfolded Yamcha, with an incredibly hard piece of meat. Despite its small length, it was hard? That counts for something. Piccolo wasn't interested in the masochistic male psyche and started to look at what he came there for. He saw a white belt with a blue circle in the middle of it on a desk next to the window he was at. Using his long arms, Piccolo carefully yoinked the gravity belt and, due to his rush, accidentally grazed the lamp on the desk. Yamcha, with his acute ears, heard a very faint sound. He was extremely embarrassed by the situation and wanted to stop right there to investigate the situation. W8 ran fan I think I hear dash. Quiet slave. A whip of crack sprung from the dom, landed squarely on the small target resting in between his legs. He quickly forgot about the noise when liquid started to appear in copious amounts. And it wasn't blood. I've trained for nearly 2 years and was able to reach 4x gravity. He is still winning all the exchange with power to spare. You won't be able to win against this. Say your prayers. Piccolo, with no turban or cape from the fight before, crouched like he was able to pee asterisk off his pants and charged up his ki. Injecting ki to himself, he slowly grew larger and larger until he was 15m tall. This is the end of you, Son Goku. How can you possibly beat me now that I multiplied my power? Taking up his challenge, he decided to put his training with Kami to use. What a better way to test his power on a respectable partner. Taking a deep breath, he closed his eyes and put out his hand like it was about to grab something. Slowly but surely, a chunk of his ki was being converted into a small round ball. What is Goku making? It looks similar to my spurt ball, but I can tell it has different properties. Yamcha was chatting a storm with the engrossed battle session. What? No way, he did it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the venue, Bulma clasped her hand over her mouth. They moved back to their original place with Krillin still lying on the floor. Because she felt bad, she decided to help the small guy a little. She fished out one of her spare capsules and clicked on it. Smoke came as usual, and what revealed was actually quite convenient for the situation. Lifting Krillin's head, she places the pillow that appeared under him and draped him in a nice cozy blanket. Nice, comfortable, and warm for everyone involved. Goku finally threw the ball of light that he created, but he didn't throw it like a weapon. He actually threw it outside of bounds in a high position to not be distracting. He turned to look at his creation. His pupils dilated into nothingness as he started to grow a monstrous size. Monkey features popped to and fro until his entire body resembled an ape. The top part of his GI and shirt ripped open easily, but strangely, the bottom part of the GI didn't as they stretched and stretched to match the size of its host. Standing at the same height as Piccolo, the two did another stare-off in their new forms as titans in the world of battle. He actually created something from my notes. He mastered the Blutz waves to turn into a great ape.